Alright. It's Mobley. Alright. Yeah. She don't. She don't. She don't like when I go deep, she be like, damn, he poking me. Yeah, I used to be a dog, but now I got the goat in me. I'm in the club, I feel like Shad, you know my homie JTG. You in the section, you ain't shaking ass the fuck away from me. She wanna smoke and suck me up and watch some WWE. I feel like Bobby Lashley, pull up with your bitch, she come with me. I'm like the Sandman when I pull up, got that drink, I'm smoking weed. Bitch, I'm like Roman Reigns when I walk in, they know that goat with me. I'm getting fly today, yeah, I'm getting hot today. Mix the Henny with the fear of God, I'm about to fly away. Yeah, I'm about to fly away. Yeah, I'm about to fly away. Baby, you look fly today. I'm getting fly today, yeah, I'm getting hot today. Mix the Henny with the fear of God, I'm about to fly away. We go to SummerSlam and then we getting lit at Barley House. We about to beat your homie ass so bad he gon' get carted out. I'm so high, I'm in the sky, I feel like I'm Jeff Hardy now. My homie used to fuck with Rhea, but he won't live Morgan now. Take some head and pour it out, we got the divas whoring out. Bitch, I be chopping shit like Gunther, you can't call me boring now. I feel like Xavier Woods, I fuck a bitch recording now. Got a baddie, she down for the count, I think she's snoring now. She wasn't trying to fuck with you, I got her very horny now. I'm in your city putting on a show, you can't ignore me now. So I've been chilling in the back, I got my mask like Dragon Lee. I got this one bitch in my phone, she be like, when you cracking me. I feel like I'm Dom Mysterio, these hoes be after me. I'm John Cena with this rap, cause you can't see her rap with me. Alright.
Beware, mortals. You're entering the eerie depths of Chokeslam Radio, where expert insider WWE knowledge and secrets are unleashed with thunderous power.
Rest in peace.
Coming to you live straight from the heart of Death Valley. Here are your mysterious hosts, DRW15 and DJ Big Unknown.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Chokeslam Radio. As always, I'm DJ Big Unknown.
And I'm your co-host, DRW15. We didn't have an episode last week, so a lot's been going on in the WWE. Can't wait to get into all of that. But before we get into that, we've got another very special guest for you guys this week.
He's an up-and-coming rapper. You may have just heard his song in the intro. He has a lot of great songs about WWE and UFC and stuff like that, and we're very excited to have him on the show today. So without further ado, let's introduce Mobley.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. My name is Mobley. Underscore MOBL3Y on all platforms.
All right. How are you doing tonight?
Shit, I'm good. How y'all doing?
We're
Doing good.
This.
It's been a crazy couple weeks in the world of WWE and in pro wrestling and sports in general with NFL coming back. So I'm really excited to get into this episode. And I'm also excited to learn about some of your takes on the current state of the WWE universe.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm with all my homies right now. They know I'm the biggest Gunther Glazer of all time, bro. I fuck with Gunther so heavy. The GOAT, bro. The GOAT. He should have beat Bret Hart's ass. I'm not even gonna lie. He should have beat him up. He should have. I feel like if Gunther would have beat him up, he would have got that best heel heat of all time.
Yeah, I almost thought the fans were gonna turn on Sami Zayn for trying to break that fight up. Because, they both wanted the smoke, but Sami Zayn was trying to stop it for some reason, even though that would have been a legendary altercation.
I feel like Gunther could hold the belt at least until WrestleMania and lose that bitch. John Cena. I feel like John Cena is the only person that can take the belt from him.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely be a good match. I agree.
Yeah, that match at at Bash in Berlin was a little crazy. Him versus Randy. I was a little worried that Randy was going to win that one because he's had that belt so many times, and they were saying he's the one that kind of created the new WWE heavyweight title. But yeah, I mean, Gunther's just such a beast in the ring. I'm not surprised he beat him there. But that was a crazy match for sure.
I feel like the only way I would be I would feel cool as a fan with Gunther losing to Sammy is if it builds to a really good heel Gunther, like Mark Henry Hall of Fame Gunther, where he just tears up Sammy. Sammy takes the belt from him and then he goes insane. But I think Bronson Reed should take it from Sammy, and then you have the perfect way for Seth Rollins to come back, take the world title, go into WrestleMania, and fight CM Punk. Say he wins the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that could happen. I mean, R-Truth could maybe even get involved as well because we know that he was also taken out by Bronson Reed. So I would be excited to see him even go for the world title.
R-Truth. I was telling my friends earlier today, R-Truth had a lot of chances to win the WWE title if they gave R-Truth the Daniel Bryan reign, just for out of respect. I would be cool with it. I'd be 100% cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to go back to your earlier point, I do think John Cena is going to be involved there somehow, some way, because I know this is kind of like his final run. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits into all this as well. But yeah, it's another guy that I'm not exactly sure what kind of run he's going on right now, but excited for that.
Yeah, John Cena's been struggling, though. I know he hasn't been in a fight for a while, but last year when he was going up against Solo Sikoa, he wasn't looking as good as he has been in the past. So it'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to come back for his final year.
That's why I feel like Gunther would probably be the best last WrestleMania, because Cena said this is last WrestleMania. If he fights Gunther, that's his best chance at having a last WrestleMania, last. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Last WrestleMania, I heard that they were trying to do Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, which I think would also be a pretty good match. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar? Do you think he's gonna ever make a return to the WWE?
Man, when I was literally fourth grade, Miss Gross's class, I did a project. We had to do a project on American Hero. I bought a biography on Brock Lesnar. I did a project on Brock Lesnar for that year for Christmas. My friend, gave a cutout. I have a free cutout of Brock Lesnar from the UFC. I swear to God, I'm the Brock Lesnar fan. If you cannot do Gunther and Brock would be the best Gunther match, Brock Lesnar match. That I feel John Cena is the only way even come close to that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get into some more. I love this discussion going on right now, but I wanted to get into some questions about you. I'm wondering, what made you want to become a rapper, and how long have you been a rapper?
I've been rapping for 2 years now, man. I the most. I've been really starting. I got a show this Friday, or I got the show Saturday. At No Class. I'm about to turn it up. I'm probably about to do that Rikishi song for the first time just to test it out. See if they fucking with it.
Awesome. Well, hopefully all our viewers, if they're in the area, can go show up. Because it sounds like a great time.
It is. I got WWE songs. I got club songs. I got drill songs. I got trap songs. I got R&B songs, Afrobeat songs. I got every kind of music you could.
Nice. Which artists are your biggest inspirations?
All time, probably Lil Wayne. I was born in 2001, so when I grew up, it was 2 Chainz, Future, Young Thug, Wiz Khalifa, stuff like that. But currently, I feel like the best people out right now is like I get a lot of comparisons to Babytron, like Rio the Young OG, Babyface E, JP, even like with the club music. Sexy Red has a lot of influence, whether people want to say it or not. But Sexy Red is going crazy.
That's awesome. What were your thoughts on seeing Sexy Red in NXT?
Bro, my favorite NXT people, I'm going to Halloween Havoc in Hershey, PA, whenever they do that. So my favorite NXT people, I watch that shit religiously. I didn't see it today, but Craig Williams and Javon Evans are like my two favorite people. So that was like I felt like they did that specifically for me. Like that felt, you get the moments in WWE where it's like, I feel like, and that was one of them where I was like, I feel like really just for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really watch NXT. I've kind of tried to, and it just really wasn't for me. But a lot of the recent wrestlers that have come up from NXT, I've really enjoyed, like Braun Breaker and like Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria. So a lot of those guys I think are super entertaining. So I'm excited to see who else is going to be the next one to come up from NXT.
I feel like the people that are really underrated that came from NXT is like Bronson Reed, Cross. They're kind of doing a little bit of stuff with them, but if they take their like it up a little bit, like level, like Valerie, I feel like
Yeah. It's kind of, your audio is kind of cutting out a little bit. It's kind of hard to hear you at times.
oh shit, I'm sorry. Yeah,
like I can hear you fine now, but
is it working now?
Yeah. Okay.
I was just saying, like, everybody from NXT, I was like an NXT Black and Gold religious watcher, but I like the people like Bronson Reed up right now, Karrion Kross coming up right now, even Finn Balor, if they tap in more, they can really turn those guys up.
Yeah, I agree. All those guys are awesome. I think they are trying to do a little more with Finn Balor. I noticed, like yesterday, he was saying he's tired of being Damian Priest's sidekick. So I would be excited to see that. And I know that he also has like the ability to turn into a demon. So it would be interesting to see if they bring that back.
If they bring back Demon Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, he has to win. Like, he has to win. They've been playing with Demon Finn Balor for way too long. I watched NXT Black and Gold, and Demon Finn Balor should smoke Damian Priest, and they bring back Demon Finn Balor, he has to go in like a title run.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, Finn Balor is already pretty good when he's not a demon. So I've seen that match with him against Edge at WrestleMania 39, I think it was, and that was a crazy match where he like split his head open on the ladder. So I think that's the last time he's been a demon, right?
Yeah, and they've been playing with him because even when he came back against Roman Reigns, like, he brought out the demon, and I'm the biggest Roman Reigns fan, but Demon Finn Balor, if he's going to lose against Roman Reigns, that's okay. Losing against Edge is a whole nother thing. Washed Edge after you go to AEW. I think Finn Balor should have won that.
Yeah. Anyways, well, with recent news for me, not last Friday, but the Friday before, I'm from DC, so they had New Japan Pro Wrestling in DC, and I had never been to a New Japan show, so I decided, like, tickets were like basically free. So I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. And then once I got there, I found out that Sasha Banks was main eventing in like this tiny stadium. So I got super excited once I got there, and it ended up being like a pretty crazy show, pretty entertaining. So I just want to say, like, if anyone's on the fence about going to a New Japan show, I highly recommend it. You should definitely do it. It was a lot. It blew away my expectations.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy that just like a random wrestling show you went to, Sasha Banks was on. And from the videos you sent, it looked like it was like a pretty legit event they put on. I know there wasn't a ton of people there, but like the wrestling and everything was like, it looked pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of those undercover companies out there that are still putting out great content.
I've never been to a New Japan show, but I just went to my first WWE show, which was SummerSlam. I'm about to go to my first NXT show, which is going to be Halloween Havoc. I want to just start running through them, going to New Japan. I just want to see what everybody got to work with.
Yeah. So you were there at this most recent SummerSlam. I'm wondering since you were in the crowd, what was the energy like when Roman Reigns made his return?
Dude, like I was there from the beginning. We were at like the pre-show stuff like that they were doing with like Pat McAfee and stuff. The crowd was chanting like, "We want Roman!" Like, "We want Roman!" Like when Roman came out, the arena was like borderline completely shaking. Like it was like one of the. I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan. That was like, I will never forget that. Oh man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That was such a cool moment. I feel like everyone was like kind of expecting it too, but when he comes out, it's still like just so sick, and everyone was going crazy, and yeah, that was just like a crazy way to end that show.
Everyone was expecting it. Like they were chanting for Roman from like 6 o'clock on. As soon as it came out, it was crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I was super lucky to be at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, and when Undertaker came out, that was like the craziest moment of my life. I mean, everyone just went nuts. So I'm guessing that was probably similar to when Roman showed up at SummerSlam.
Dude, the crowd went crazy when Kevin Owens came out. Like Kevin Owens came out, Randy Orton came out, crowd went crazy. Jacob Fatu beat up Cody Rhodes, crowd went even crazier. Roman Reigns came out, like we were like the CM Punk has everybody shaking, and then Gunther won the world title, and then like right after that was the Solo Cody match. It was like people. I've heard a lot of people talk shit about SummerSlam, but if you were there, that was like one of the best wrestling shows. Like that's my first show, but that was one of the best shows ever. I feel like
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick first show to see all that, to see Roman return, and yeah, the CM Punk match and then the main event were both like pretty sick matches to watch even from home. So I can't imagine seeing those live with like the crowd and all that.
Like I'm the hugest Gunther fan. I saw Gunther win the world title. I saw LA Knight win the US title. I saw Braun Breaker win the Intercontinental title. Roman's return. Jax. Like it was like a lot of stuff going on. It was pretty lit. Dom turning on Rhea.
That must have been what was the crowd's reaction when Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan started making out?
Oh, my friend is the biggest Liv Morgan fan like ever. He went absolutely nuts. The whole crowd went up there like chanting, "Oh, mommy!" And then like he slides in the chair, and you're like, "Oh!" Like the crowd was kind of confused at first, and then you see like Liv won, whole crowd's confused still, and then it shows them, and they're like, "Oh!" Like I that was probably the second best moment of the show besides Roman's.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the most like invested I've been in a women's match. Like that was honestly like, yeah, I agree. It was probably second best match of the show.
And when Rhea dislocated her arm, like when you're at the show, you really don't know what's going on. Like you don't know if it's real, especially if it's slamming her arm into the table and turnbuckle and stuff.
I thought it was real watching on TV. I mean, like her elbow like physically looked like really messed up. I thought for sure she was like actually injured, or it was her shoulder, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, she like dislocated her shoulder, slammed the table and up all the way back. Like buckle.
Yeah. Well, anyways, getting back to this past week's SmackDown, somebody who I really wanted to discuss on the show is Giovanni Vinci. So for the viewers who don't know, he was originally part of Imperium, but got kicked out by Gunther. And we haven't seen him for a while, but over the past few weeks, they were building him up like he's been out traveling the world, you know, like making money, just being an all-around boss. He had like a whole nother level of swag. It honestly looked like he had been watching like a lot of Andrew Tate videos and was kind of trying to emulate that energy. And then he showed up last Friday for his match against Apollo Crews. And, you know, he was walking into the ring with a ton of swag, like super confident, and then just immediately lost. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that because I thought that was pretty interesting.
I feel like Giovanni Vinci could be like the Italian Alberto Del Rio. I don't know why they played that. I like Apollo Crews as much.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what is going to happen because he got kicked out of Imperium, like, which is honestly like, I mean, they don't have anything on the bloodline, but they were one of the most like dominant groups in WWE. Mm-hmm. And now he's kicked out of that and he tried to come back and he couldn't even beat Apollo Crews. So I just don't know what you do at this point. You might have to go back to NXT.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like when Aaron Rodgers came out last season for the Jets, and it was like all hyped up. Everyone was excited to see him play, and then, you know, Rodgers gets hurt 5 plays in and is done for the year. I guess in his case, at least he's.
Maybe he's a Jets fan.
Yeah. Maybe he lost connection because his audio was getting a little spotty. But yeah, you can rejoin.
We can continue the conversation, and I'll.
Yeah, just text him and say we're still live if you want to rejoin. But yeah, I was just saying at least Giovanni Vinci didn't get hurt. You know, I mean, it was a pretty embarrassing loss to come out after all that time away. But you know, maybe the moment was a bit too big for him. It didn't look like he was quite ready when the bell even rang, and then he lost like right away. So a bit of an embarrassing return, and you know, no one's going to want to recruit you for their faction or their team when you're losing matches like that. But I guess it's only uphill from here for him.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that maybe, I don't know what he was doing because I guess he was too busy traveling the world and like buying new cars and suits and stuff instead of actually training because I don't know. I really don't know what he thought was going to happen there. I guess he's like, oh, I used to be with Imperium, so I'm just going to win. But it's different when you don't have Gunther there to back you up and you don't have Ludwig Kaiser, even though he's not our favorite. Like, he's still kind of like an annoying, like, little like, he's like kind of like a snake that just kind of gets in the way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope he has a better match next time. Maybe they can schedule him against Ilya Dragunov. I know they're on different shows, but you know, if you lose that quick against Ilya, you should probably just retire. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he thought he was kind of like, I know The Rock likes to take a lot of time off from wrestling and then just like randomly show up again. But and maybe with all that money and watching all those Andrew Tate videos, he thought he was gonna be like The Rock. But you know, when you're only like okay at wrestling, you can't just randomly show up in the ring again and expect to win.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough because Gunther was probably like a really big mentor for him. And when you have somebody to like look up to like that and then they just abandon you, it's probably pretty tough. So I can see why he kind of went to Andrew Tate or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not really, I think he does have a combat sports background, but he doesn't really do that anymore. And I guess it didn't really translate to the ring, even though he might has a lot of like hot girlfriends and cars and stuff now. So at least he has that. But I don't know. I'm honestly interested to see what happens with him though.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah, sorry.
no, I mean, I was just gonna say he's got all this money now. Hopefully, he spends a little bit of it on like a personal trainer or something like that. But you know, if this doesn't work out, it seems like he's got enough money and all cars and girls and all that to make it out okay without the WWE. But we'll see what happens with him.
Well, I'm texting Mobley and he's not responding. Maybe his phone died or maybe he didn't like that Aaron Rodgers comment, but we're going to continue the show and hopefully we get him back because I do want to talk to him more about the stuff going on.
Yeah.
But so SmackDown was the very last episode of SmackDown on Fox, which I mean doesn't really mean anything. It's still the same show. It's just going to be on a different network, but no one really like when you have a show that's on Fox, you kind of have a lot more credibility. Like what other sports are shown on USA? Like it's not really like honestly like what shows are on USA. I know I used to watch the show Psych back in the day, but that ended like 10 years ago. And I haven't heard of anyone watching anything on USA ever since besides WWE. So it's kind of a joke of a channel, but it doesn't really make a difference. It's still the same.
Yeah.
Still the same show.
I saw that Raw is going to be a 2-hour show instead of 3 hours now between now and when it moves over to Netflix, I think, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. I mean,
like we've always talked about a little bit on Raw. They always have the stupid damage control against I don't even know those girls' names, and I still don't really care about them.
Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah, the Pure Fusion Collective. Like I don't care about those matches, but and now
they did like another one yesterday. I skipped it because I don't think anyone watched it live yesterday when we had the Niners versus Jets on, but I went and replayed it. And if I'm not watching live, like, why am I going to watch this match when I could just fast forward, you know?
Well, see, the thing is now with a 2-hour show, I was hoping that they can just cut out one of those matches, but I'm worried that they're going to, like, keep having those matches because they have them every week. And Adam Pearce doesn't really know what he's doing, and it's just like a free match that he can schedule. You know, it seems like every week he's scrambling to find matches. So
I think if we cut those matches and we cut CM Punk and Drew McIntyre complaining about the same stuff every week, then we're not going to really lose that much content. And that's like already an hour off of the show. So I think if they do that, that's true. I know that Raw is going to go to Netflix in a few months. And once that happens, I don't think they have to do any ads. That's just a rumor. They haven't actually said that. And even when they say they're doing their like ad-free hour, they still play ads like during that. They still play, even though it's not like ads for Fox, or ads for USA, they play like WWE ads on like, buy this fake belt that's not a real belt, and you can walk around and carry it like you actually won something when you didn't. You just spent $200 on it.
Stupid. Yeah.
Anyways, my main complaint with SmackDown going to USA instead of Fox is that when I have to miss the show and rewatch it on the USA app, I have to, even if I'm skipping through a damage control match, it still makes me watch the ads.
Oh yeah,
in between.
yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
like if I'm trying to skip through a match, then I gotta watch like 8 ads or something, and it's like I'll just look up the highlights on YouTube. I don't even need to it's not worth my time. Might as well be watching it live right now.
Yeah. Well, at least SmackDown's always been 2 hours, and I feel like usually they do a better job of not having all the boring matches. They're getting better now that the Bloodline's been pretty entertaining and Rowan's back and all of that. But they still have their matches for sure where I'm like, I don't care about anyone in this match. But yeah, I usually try to watch them live, but I do also work on Fridays. So yeah, when you're watching it back, it's sometimes almost better to just go to Twitter or to go to YouTube and watch the highlights instead of having to sit through all those ads and those boring matches.
Or just wait for Chokeslam Radio to cover it.
Yeah, we'll bring it down for you.
Anyways, I know a lot of people are like hyping up the move to USA, saying like, oh, it's going to be way better than Fox because they don't black out like 10 seconds of a match or something because a fan in the crowd said the F word. But yeah, I get why that's annoying, but at the same time, USA also does it. So
yeah, they both do it.
It's still going to be there, and it's still the same. It's not like it's the Fox broadcast team covering the event like how the NFL does it. It's still the WWE broadcasting the event no matter what network it's on. So it's not like watching the NFL on Fox versus like when they switch to Nickelodeon, it's a completely different show. It's still gonna be the same exact thing. Like
yeah. And like the announcers aren't going to change or anything like that. Like we just had an announcer change, and that had nothing to do with the network because it's not because of that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anything changes at all, but I don't think it's very likely. I'm excited for what is it? They're doing a cage match, right? Cody Rhodes versus Solo.
Oh yeah, I am excited for that.
That's gonna be a good
Nick Aldis, he's actually a general manager and scheduled a fight for Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in a cage match. Something that I don't remember the last time Adam Pearce actually scheduled a match, but I'm predicting that this one is going to be a banger. You know, I know the Bloodline's going to get involved somehow, but it's going to be harder for them because they're going to have to get through the cage. But I'm really anytime it's Cody versus anyone in the Bloodline, it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, that's true. The Bloodline has gotten the best of Cody a lot recently, but yeah, I think the cage could work to Cody's advantage. He does usually have someone come out and help him. It's usually Kevin Owens and Randy, but I mean, he's also had the Undertaker. The Undertaker still could show up though. You know, I think he can pass through steel cages when those lights are out. So that's always an option. But I think in the long run, it's going to be helpful for Cody to be in that cage because, you know Jacob Fatu is going to be there, and anything that can get in between him and Cody is going to be helpful. You know.
Yeah.
That's going to be a cool match, and yeah, Adam Pearce, like, he can't put on cage matches because he doesn't schedule stuff ahead of time, and so like they don't have enough time to get the cage before like when he scheduled the match like an hour before the main event, you know. So
yeah,
shout out Nick Aldis for like scheduling a match a week before so that they can actually like get a cage set up and be ready for anything more than just like a normal match.
I'm really curious what Adam Pearce's weekly schedule is because Monday Night Raw is only once a week. I mean, you have a lot of time to prepare for this show, but for some reason he has to plan all the matches during while the show is going.
Yeah.
I don't know why he does that. I don't know what he does all week. I think he might be an alcoholic because we've seen him even drinking during the show.
Yeah.
You only have to be on your game for like 3 hours a week and he still can't even.
I know.
Yeah.
Like the best we get from him is sometimes like a video of him like breaking news like an hour before the show starts. It's like, all right, I'm like sick. You had
Yeah.
since last Monday Night Raw to schedule an event, and you're waiting until an hour before.
I was really excited about that hotline too. I was like, finally, he's doing something with this time. He's gonna listen to all the fans' advice on a hotline, but no. And we know he's not listening to Chokeslam Radio. And if he is, then I don't know, hasn't really taken our advice. He's not a very good listener.
Yeah.
But I honestly, like at this point, it's like we know he's not the best, but like it has to come from the management as well. You know, like The Rock hasn't really been around, and he's in charge of TKO and WWE right now, but he's busy filming movies. He's doing monster truck movies and I don't know, like a bunch of weird stuff and anything to get away from the Undertaker. But because of that, he hasn't been around and he hasn't been guiding the company. He's just leaving it all to Triple H, who, I mean, he isn't the worst, but you know, he's not the best either.
Well, yeah, when the guy at the top isn't around and isn't like holding people accountable, then you know Adam Pearce just feels like he can do whatever he wants and get away with it, you know. And it seems like that's kind of what he's been doing. And I think the wrestlers see that too, because as we've talked about, they just go up to him and ask, "Can I have this match?" And he's like, "Sure," you know. So there's no real structure, and it's just from the top down. If The Rock was there and around, then Adam Pearce would have to be held accountable, and then we would get like a better product every week. But until that happens, we're gonna keep seeing Damage Control versus the Three Angry Lesbians every week.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else I want to say about Raw last night. I mean, the Wyatt Six versus American Made, Chad Gable's group, it was all right. But I mean, like, we've seen these guys fighting for like a while now. That's what I don't really like how WWE's been doing this lately. Like, if there are two guys that have like a decent match against each other, then they'll just have them do that same match over and over again for like a year. And it's like,
yeah.
So like, I just saw this and they just keep doing it over and over again. It's like, can we get some variety here?
I know, like it's cool. Like it was super cool to see the Wyatt Six like come back out and fight American Made, but they've had beef with American Made for like 3 months now, and like nothing has happened. Every week they just do like basically the same match, as you were saying. And at some point, it's like there's no real storyline here anymore. Like, we get that they don't like each other, but like I know next week when I turn on Raw, they're gonna like show up again and challenge Chad Gable to another fight. You know, so like at this point, have someone else show up, or have someone get involved, or have them call out someone else, because like they're a cool group, but you know, when you fight the same exact match week after week, like people get tired of it.
Like, at least with Cody versus the Bloodline, like things are actually like changing. Like, Cody took the title, Roman Reigns disappeared, Solo took over. Like, the things that happen actually have like consequences on the future. With Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable, it's just like they beat each other up and then they're back to where they were, the same place they've been for like 4 months. Kind of the same thing with Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. It's like, I have the bracelet now. It's like, oh, now I have the bracelet. And it's like, okay, I'm going to fight you again, but this time we're going to do this rule. It's like, oh, it's like, dude, like, So
I know. Yeah, like they do put on good matches against each other, but like they could put on good matches against other people too. And like no one gives a shit about this stupid bracelet, you know? Like it doesn't mean anything. So like it's a funny storyline for like a week or two. Like, oh, he stole his bracelet, but now he's stolen the bracelet for like 6 different times.
They got clips already. Yeah,
welcome back.
Let's go.
All right, we were worried that you were a Jets fan and didn't like his comment about Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Dropped off.
No. That was my bad. Sorry.
No, all good.
Well, we were kind of just talking about how WWE lately with a lot of their rivalries going on, they're pretty good, but they kind of just repeat the same matches against each other for like months and months. Like, we were talking about specifically the Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable and the American Made. Like they had a pretty decent match yesterday, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of getting old with them fighting every week and then nothing happens. Like they just don't really like each other, and then it's like the same thing over and over again. It's like we're wanting to get like some more variety here.
I'm hoping that that's the end of it. The only people I really want to see the Wyatt Six feud with at this point is the Final Testament, maybe, just because I feel like that could be a cool. Like I feel like they could do something with that, but other than that, like I really don't see where they take the Wyatt Six after the Chad Gable thing. Like, where's Chad? Like, I hope Chad Gable goes to the main event after this. I don't know what Wyatt Six do after this.
Yeah. I actually had, this sounds kind of weird, but I actually had a dream about this last night where Chad Gable challenged LA Knight for the United States Championship. And I thought that would actually be a pretty sick match, since Chad Gable's kind of like American themed now with American Made. I could see them wanting the United States Championship.
I saw a thing about Cody losing the WWE title and winning the US title, just like how John Cena had it. And for some reason, I think that would be so good. But Chad Gable winning the US title would be perfect. Like, that would be perfect.
Yeah. I think if Cody is going to lose his title, it might actually happen this Friday, because we know he's got a cage match against Solo Sikoa. And I was reading last time, or I saw like a TikTok or something about this, and it reminded me how last time SmackDown premiered on a new network, Cody lost the WWE champion, or Kofi Kingston lost it to Brock Lesnar. So maybe we could get another title change this time, but I don't know. With them being in the cage, you don't really get any help from Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. I mean, they could still try to help, but it's going to be a lot more complicated.
I don't really know if Solo's ready to be like the world champ unless they're just going to make him a transitional champion for Roman and then Cody or The Rock to get the belt. But I could see it. I can definitely see them giving Solo the belt this SmackDown and then using that to build like a Roman Solo feud to Bad Blood, and then maybe doing Cody and Kevin, or Cody and Randy maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that main event at Bad Blood is going to be, with Solo and probably Roman. And I don't know much. It's going to be like a tag team or what behind that, but I wouldn't be shocked if Solo maybe has the belt for that match. I don't know. Have they announced anything about that event yet in terms of who's fighting who?
Didn't Cody challenge Jacob Fatu?
He did, but then Solo's like, no, if you want to challenge someone, it's got to be me. And then Nick Aldis came out and made it a cage match.
Okay.
But I think in terms of Bad Blood, I think the only matches that have been confirmed are Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan rematch and CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre rematch.
That's I feel like Bad Blood is kind of like SummerSlam 2. Like, it's kind of a lot of matches, like a lot of similar matches. Like, especially if they do Cody and Solo again, like, which I could see them doing is Cody and Solo at Bad Blood. Maybe like Rhea and Liv, Drew, CM Punk. Like, the only match that might be different is like Gunther and Sammy, and then Jay and Braun. Like, that's the only really like switch that I see at Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jay Uso versus Braun Breaker is going to be an awesome match. I think that could really go either way. I know Braun Breaker's kind of been like a stud lately, but I know Jay Uso's also kind of a stud right now, and he hasn't had any big wins in a while, even though the fans all love him. So I could see him pulling the win off. I think that could really go either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Because I mean, the crowd is like so into both of those guys. I'm sure that's going to be like a crazy match. I mean, Braun's been on like such a tear. He's been like so fun to watch. But obviously Jay's got the yeet. Everyone loves that. So yeah, that'll be a banger for sure.
I feel like Jay has like, regardless of if he's Intercontinental Champion or not, he has like a path. Like he has a path to go through regardless of if he has the title or not. What do you really do with Braun Breaker if he loses the IC title to Jay? Like, what do you really do with Braun Breaker?
Yeah, what's it like? Is he gonna fight Ilya Dragunov again or Sami Zayn? Like, we've already seen that. So
yeah.
I think Braun retains, just because I think Jay's going to go back to kind of the bloodline story once Survivor Series rolls around. Survivor Series in like a month or two, so they're going to start building to that eventually.
Yeah. I would be excited to see Jey Uso go back. This doesn't even have to be for the championship or anything, but when Roman was the tribal chief, Jey Uso was battling him in like tribal combat. That wasn't even really for the championship. That was just to become the tribal chief. So I think that would be interesting to see Jey Uso come back and tell Solo like, hey, you're not the tribal chief, and maybe he tries to take over. Because I mean, he was so close to beating Roman. I mean, a lot of people were saying he was the closest until Cody beat him, but I mean, I think that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I do wonder if at any point Jimmy's going to come back, because, you know, right now it seems like Jay's getting pretty close with like Rhea Ripley. They've been like teasing that a little bit. I don't know if that's actually going to play out, but we haven't heard from Jimmy at all since WrestleMania, and I don't know if he's like planning to come back or not. But that's another interesting storyline.
I'm calling it right now. They're gonna do like Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games, which I think is fairly obvious. But I think at WrestleMania, it's gonna be like Roman Rock, and then I think they're gonna do like a triple threat tag match. Like, I think The Rock's gonna be behind the new Bloodline, and then I think there's gonna be like a Jacob Fatu, Tama, and Tonga versus Jimmy J and Solo, like, match. Like, I think Solo's gonna rejoin. Like, I think The Rock's gonna prove that he was behind the new Bloodline, and then I think eventually Solo's gonna go back to the new Bloodline.
I agree with you on that, because I mean, a lot of people have been thinking like Jacob Fatu is gonna switch back to like the original Bloodline, but he's like the most loyal of all to Solo. So I don't really see that. I think Solo definitely dropped hints of like how like he would still be loyal to Roman if he proved himself. He said something like a couple weeks back about that.
I think that Jacob Fatu is not loyal to Solo. I think he's loyal to The Rock. Jacob Fatu has those new gold grills in. He's making money now. He was just in jail. Like, he's coming up. Like, that's not Solo Sikoa. Like, that's The Rock. The Rock's the boss, the final boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I just thought of this right now with John Cena coming back. I think Jacob Fatu versus John Cena would be a pretty entertaining match since Cena's kind of one of those guys who are against the bloodline right now.
I don't know if it's just a Twitter thing, but I saw like a thing. It was like, what match do you need before the end of the year? And it was a triple threat match. And it was Jacob Fatu versus Obafemi versus who John Cena. It was like John Cena, Obafemi, and Jacob Fatu. Like that match would be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Obafemi that dude who like chucked the guy? Like I forgot. He's from NXT, right?
Yeah, Obafemi's next up. Obafemi, I could like if they called Obafemi right now up to the main roster and had him beat Gunther for the world title, I would believe it 100%. Like it wouldn't like I wouldn't blink.
Awesome.
Dang.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens with him. I think it sounds like as long as he doesn't get injured, he'll make it to the main roster soon.
If you haven't seen an Obafemi match, you should go back to the Takeover or whatever it was called, Stand and Deliver before WrestleMania. The match with him, Josh Briggs, and Dijak was insane. The match with him and Wes Lee at not this last like Takeover event, but the one before, the one with him and Tony D'Angelo at the last one. It was insane. I love NXT, and Obafemi is like one of my favorite people. Like he's like the new Braun Breaker, where you like knew that he was going to be a star, and like as soon as he get called up, you're like, yeah, I see it.
That's awesome. Well, let's hope he doesn't get drafted to Raw and goes to SmackDown instead, so Adam Pearce doesn't waste his talent by booking him against people like Kale Dixon and Ilya Dragunov.
Ilya Dragunov is really underrated. Like the Fatal 4-Way on Raw was one of the best like Fatal 4-Ways in the past like 10 years. I might be tripping. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think that Fatal 4-Way was insane, and Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne were like a big part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. That was a pretty insane match to watch. Like, I mean, me and DRW15 give Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne a hard time, but at the end of the day, their matches are like some of the most entertaining to watch, even if we're not rooting for them, because those guys are crazy and just fight as hard as they can. And that one match that was for the like lead-in tournament for King of the Ring, that was Ilya Dragunov versus Jey Uso. That was like probably in my top 3 favorite matches of the year. I mean, that match was so fun to watch.
I feel like the Fatal 4-Way was one of my favorite matches. I don't know if that's a hot take. I haven't seen really opinions on it yet, but like the Bronson Reed attack on Braun Strowman, I love Bronson Reed. Like that was, yeah. I literally jumped up. I was so hyped. I was like screaming. I was like, oh my God, Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed is a beast. Like that made him look like a star. It made Jay look like a star. It made Pete Dunne look like a star. Ilya, like everybody looked like a star in that match. Braun Strowman even, like everyone looked like a star in that match.
Yeah.
I love that beef between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. Just two like absolute units going at it. It's pretty crazy. I'm glad that like after Braun Strowman got like smashed through that car, I was worried they were going to have him out for a little while, but he came back the next week and he's still fighting. So that's pretty sick, and I love the beef that they're doing with these guys right now.
The beef with Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed gives me flashbacks of like the Big Show and Hall of Pain Mark Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like Bronson Reed is on his Hall of Pain Mark Henry run right.
Yeah, he's been a menace ever since he took out like the Miz and R-Truth and who did he get before that?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, the Seth Rollins was where he started.
Taking out world champions. Don't let
Yeah.
this get past y'all. He's taking out Braun Strowman, The Miz, and Seth Rollins, all world champions. Bronson Reed is going crazy. This is the same as Big Show. He took out Great Khali, Big Show, and Kane, all on that run. 3 world
Crazy.
champions. Like, he's on like that same type of run right now. I think that Bronson Reed. I don't know. I might be glazing a little bit, but Bronson Reed should be world champion. Push him to the moon. Make him beat The Rock at WrestleMania. I don't even care. And John Cena. Make him beat The Rock and John Cena at WrestleMania.
All of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, our last guest, Matt Nichols, was also a huge fan of Bronson Reed, so it's definitely a trend, you know. Even though he's beating up a lot of our favorite superstars, it's fun. It's kind of fun to watch him do it. You know, the fans are even chanting like one more," when he already hit like 10 tsunamis. So
And he's doing it on like fan favorites. Like, everyone loves Seth Rollins. Everyone loves The Miz, R-Truth, like Braun Strowman, all these guys. And Bronson Reed's getting over. Like people just want to see him. Like, that's, as a wrestling fan that's been in the crowd, that's all you want, is like that guy that you want to see. Like, that's why Roman Reigns' pop was so big. Like, if you want to see that guy come do whatever he does, and he comes and does it, that's like the coolest thing. People want to see Randy Orton to hit the RKO. People want to see Bronson Reed to hit the tsunami. Like,
yeah.
he's like, I feel like he's a star right now. He's a star to me.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done really well with him recently, and he's, yeah, as you were saying, like people get hype when he comes out and starts causing havoc. So it's super cool to see that from him.
That's all you can really ask for. Like, if the fans want to see you and they pay the money to go there, and you're on their list of people they want to see, that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a rapper, like if I get booked on a show, as long as I'm one of the people that they want to see, I feel like that's a successful time.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I really want to get your guys' opinions on this. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Netflix put out a trailer on a Vince McMahon documentary that's coming out later this month. And rumors are that this documentary is going to go really hard on him, and cover like all the like dark side about him. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because Netflix just bought Monday Night Raw for like billions of dollars. So it's interesting that they're attacking the same company that they just partnered with.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole trailer yet, but I've seen stuff on my Twitter about it, and yeah, just from what I've read, it seems like they're gonna be like airing a lot of shit, and it is interesting. I mean, I know Vince has like no longer has any ties to the company, and maybe that's why they're doing it, to show that like, look at this bad guy who was a part of WWE, and now we're like completely separate from that. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure to see like what they're gonna talk about, and like all the stuff that's gonna be made pretty public, because like everyone watches Netflix documentaries, you know, so whatever they show on there, everyone can see, and that's probably going to be like most people's opinion of them.
I saw the trailer for it. I saw that they were gonna go like deep in, like they're talking about the whole steroid thing. They're talking about Chris Benoit, like stuff like that. Like, I kind of hope that they cut deep into Vince McMahon. I'm not gonna lie. I hope they get on his ass. I hope they, you know, show it for what it was. I mean, he was good, but like, it's the same thing with Chris Benoit. Like, Chris Benoit was really good, but he also did like horrible stuff. So you kind of have to like shed light onto both things. Like, same thing with Vince McMahon. He wanted to be a wrestler. He's part of the same thing.
I think it's pretty interesting how they're releasing this documentary while the like court case is still active. So I think definitely like whatever comes out, especially if it's stuff that hasn't been revealed yet, because I know that they're interviewing like Mr. McMahon himself for the documentary, and all these other guys like Triple H, The Rock. You know, it'll be interesting to see if these guys like Rock and Triple H turn on Vince McMahon and just tell him everything they know about him, because they're kind of the guys in charge of WWE right now. So maybe this is like a power move by them to take over. I don't know, but I think whatever comes out in this documentary will probably have an impact on the actual court case going on right now. So I don't know. I think this is going to be pretty crazy, whatever comes out. But I think there also is a chance that like a lot of other WWE documentaries kind of don't really go that deep. But this one is not made by WWE, so I don't know. It's interesting. I'm very excited to see it, whatever comes out.
I guarantee you that those clips of like The Rock and Triple H and stuff, all that was like before they even got into like the court case and stuff. Like the court case is probably only getting talked about by like the lawyers and stuff that they have in the trailers and stuff like that. Like I doubt that they're gonna get very deep into it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I mean, it does put those guys in a tough spot because they do still work for the WWE now, and they're like obviously trying to protect its image and not make the WWE look horrible. But they're being asked to talk about Vince McMahon, and they were both wrestlers, you know, while he was doing all those things. So obviously, they know a lot about everything that was going on, I'm sure. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting how much they can and are willing to say in the documentary to like protect themselves and protect the company.
Yeah. Anyways, I had another thing I wanted to discuss. It's kind of a conspiracy theory that's kind of popular online right now, and that's the dead internet theory. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
So it's this theory that a lot of like users online, or like a huge majority of users online, are actually like AI bots. And there's a lot of people who've kind of like dug into accounts to try to see like if they're a bot or not. And there's even like YouTube channels with like people who like say they're professors and stuff. And if you like zoom in on like the background of them talking, like the photos on the wall like don't have faces, or like just like a bunch of weird like AI stuff. So I kind of did my own investigation on the WWE community to see if a lot of online fans of WWE are actually bots, kind of trying to like influence what happens in WWE. Because I know, especially like with what happened with Cody going against Roman or The Rock, like online fan reception of this really does have a big impact of what actually happens in WWE. So I wanted to do an investigation to see if there's actually AI bots out here trying to like impact what fans think. So let me share this image. I'm only starting my investigation now, so if any of the viewers have any evidence or anything to share, definitely send a DM. But where is the photo I want to show? Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys will be able to zoom in that much, but this is one thing. I was looking for like phrases that are like repeated a lot. And if you look at this, these are all like takes on like wrestling feuds that should happen. And if you notice, like a lot of these phrases are like the exact same, even though they're all by different people and they're across like different like feuds that people want to happen. And I mean, I just got a screenshot here, but if you just like search like random phrases on Twitter and just scroll through it, you can kind of see this. And some of these accounts are small, but some are pretty big. And yeah, I wanted to get your guys' take on this because I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, this feud would feed families. This feud would feed families. And like, I guess that's a phrase, but I've never heard of anybody using a phrase like that in real life. It kind of just seems like something that's happening on the internet. So I know this is kind of like a conspiracy theory, but I wanted to get your guys' thoughts and see if this is something that's worth in continuing my investigation.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do bring up a good point that like the stuff people say on Twitter and like on the internet definitely does influence, I think, the WWE's decisions. And I think more generally, like these big Twitter accounts can definitely influence how the fans feel about a certain fighter, you know? So I don't know necessarily if any of those big accounts are run by AI or anything like that, but I do think that like the engagement and just like all the replies to, you know, some of these tweets can definitely like impact how successful these fighters are and how like people like respond to them. So there's definitely a chance that like a lot of these comments, likes, etc., are just like botted, or maybe like some of them are actually AI accounts. But I agree that I've seen this feud may feed families a lot, and maybe it's just people trying to copy the big accounts to get likes, but it's also possible that it's like just straight up AI accounts or something like that. I didn't even know about the dead internet thing before you brought that up, so it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about like the dead thing, but I definitely believe that even like the WWE would make like fake accounts and just like post AI shit so that they can get like hashtag Cody and stuff like that. Like even like LA Knight, like I don't know. It kind of was just like overnight. I feel like they kind of just push certain things. If they want something to blow up, they're gonna work their way towards that thing blowing up.
Yeah,
They're popular enough. Anything that's that big has enough pull to like. They're not below anything.
yeah. And I don't know, the whole like online wrestling community, people call it the IWC, is really interesting because there's a lot of people who make entire careers like just giving their opinions on WWE, and they don't even work for WWE. And these guys get like huge followings, so a lot of times like whatever their opinions are like what the majority of the fans end up liking. Like I see a lot of videos of like this guy, like Santi Zap, I think his name is. Like all he does is just watch WWE and say like, "Oh, this guy's great. This guy's not great." And even though he's just, I don't really know his background, but he seems like he's just some random guy giving wrestling takes. And I'm looking at this as, imagine being like a wrestler who's been training for years and years and years trying to get a push from the fans, and it's up to like some random dude on the internet who's like a reactor to like get the fans to approve you. It's just so bizarre and kind of hard to understand how it came to this. Like, how do these accounts get such a huge following?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fuck with Santi Zap, but like I'll watch his videos all the time. But it is weird how like when he does like his ranking videos, that turns into like the fans' perception, which I don't really think should be the case. I don't think anybody should like have the entire pull on the fans' perception. Like,
Yeah.
like he's not even like one of the biggest. Like he is one of the biggest. So like even like what culture and stuff like that. Like if they say a certain guy is showing so good, a lot of the fans are just run with that because that's what, like, oh, I watch some Dab's videos and I watch Monday Night Raw every once in a while. So they say this guy's good, so I like him. Like,
Yeah.
when they like bury Karrion Kross, like Karrion Kross is like not bad and that's like a good gimmick, but they'll be like, oh, he's like F tier, D tier, or something like that, because he loses or something. That's kind of like his gimmick, is that he loses, but he like influences things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very interesting because we're kind of starting this WWE podcast and we're trying to kind of find our way where we fit into like the IWC, but it's just it's like hard to understand this because like these guys, like they're not affiliated with the WWE at all, but the whole point of like WWE is a psychology of getting the fans behind one guy, getting them to like one guy, getting them to not like another. But these guys online who don't even work for the WWE have like even more of an impact of like the actual show. So it's just very interesting. I'm trying to wrap my head around all. Oh, he's gone. I don't know what are your thoughts on this DRW15?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought it was interesting. Like right when we started making this podcast, like and making those shorts, like some of them would get no views, and then we made that one about Ilya Dragunov, and it got like so many views, and like people were so pissed off in the comments, and like I was like, all right, like I guess part of our thing is going to be hating on Ilya Dragunov because that's what people are like responding to and like, and we'll like talk about in the comments, and so that like kind of became like a thing that we did, and we still kind of hate on him. Like I actually think he's a good wrestler, but like I know that if we put out more content that like Ilya Dragunov is like no good because he always loses, like people are gonna freak out in the comments and stuff like that. And so it like I think there are certain things that you say in the wrestling community that people are gonna like flock towards or like freak out about, you know. And it's different because like there's these like people do that for all sports. Like on my Twitter, there's a lot of people talking about like the NFL and like who's been playing well and who to pick up in fantasy and all that. But that like their opinion doesn't really matter because it like what actually matters is like how those players play. Like of course the fans are going to root for certain people, but they don't really have an influence on the games. But it's definitely different with WWE because like the guys that the crowd loves are going to get like a push and become more popular. So like all these accounts who like, as you were saying, aren't being told what to say by the WWE, like get millions of views saying like this guy's match was really good or this guy's match sucks, and then because they have millions of views, like all the fans are going to be like, yeah, like that's true, even if that may or may not be the case. And then like the next week like more people are going to be like tweeting about how good that match was and stuff. So
yeah,
and like I don't know how.
Do you think it's more them trying to say what the fans already believe in, or do you think what they say actually does influence what the fans believe in?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I'm sure if they were repeatedly giving like bad takes, like if they kept saying like that Damage Control match was like my favorite match of the night, people would be like, okay, like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But like if there was like a good match, like that Fatal 4-Way, and then you know the guy like the fans probably enjoy it, and then one of these big accounts was like this is one of the matches of the year, then the fans are going to be like even more into it because they like probably already enjoyed it. They go on Twitter and see that this big account's like that match was a banger, then all the fans are going to be like, yeah, that was like amazing, you know. So it kind of like I feel like it kind of feed off of each other a little bit. So as long as there's like some sort of credibility, and I feel like they're usually pretty consistent with like which fighters they're saying do well and which fighters are like entertaining to watch, you know.
Yeah, I also kind of noticed it's similar kind of what's going on with like the Star Wars community as well, because like there's these guys online who a Star Wars show comes out and yeah, it's bad, like the Acolyte's really bad, but then you get guys like Star Wars Theory who just completely shit all over it like it's the worst thing ever, and then the show ends up getting canceled. But in that case, I think that he's just saying what's going to get views. I don't think he actually like is throwing a temper tantrum because the new Disney Plus show is not that great.
No, but it's his job to like over exaggerate things, and then the fans get even more, riled up about it. Like
Yeah.
if he went out and was like, The Acolyte was like a decent show, like not the best, not the worst, I think people would have been like, okay, that's fair. But I feel like the fans like didn't like the show, and then he goes online and is like, this is the worst show ever, and then all the fans are like, yeah, like the show was the worst show ever, like I hate it. So I think that like the fans probably didn't like the show, and then see that this guy didn't like it even more than them, and then they're like, all right, well now it's okay to like absolutely shit on this show on social media because this big Star Wars influencer guy is doing it, and then that just makes the show look worse because all the comments now are like how this show is the worst show that Star Wars has ever made. And I didn't watch it, so I don't know how bad it actually was, but when a big account comes out and says something like that then like all the fans feel like they have free reign to like just shit on it like it's the worst show that was ever created.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like we're getting maybe a little too deep here, but this is something like it's kind of weird because at first you just want to do whatever like gets you the most views because it's fun to hate on Ilya Dragunov when all the fans get such a reaction out of it. But I would hate that we keep doing it. We do blow up, and then the WWE sees it and says like, "Oh, the fans don't like Ilya Dragunov. Let's end his career." It's like, but that's like I don't think that would actually happen, but that is what's happening in social media right now. I mean, The Rock was supposed to face Cody Rhodes, or The Rock was supposed to face Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, and because all the like online communities freaked out, I know like Busted Open is like this podcast where I mean they have a lot of great wrestlers on it, but there's this one like random guy who's like the main host of the show who's like never even been a wrestler. He's just a big like WWE nerd. Yeah. And he was like the main reason why everyone was pissed off about pissed at The Rock. And he like if it wasn't for him, like there probably still would have been a big impact, but I mean, it's just crazy how this guy who's not even a wrestler can have such a big impact on like a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah. Well, that's what's tough about the WWE. Like I keep comparing it to the NFL, but like at the end of the day, the NFL, like people are still going to watch the NFL, and they can't, like, the fans can't really control like who plays well and who doesn't. People can have favorites, but with the WWE, they kind of have to like look at social media and kind of look at like what all the fans want to see to make the show more entertaining. Because if they like have one storyline going and everyone is like, this storyline sucks, then they're going to start seeing like all these comments and might end up changing or canceling it because they want to put out something that the fans want to see. So they kind of have to like tailor to what's popular on social media a little bit, which is crazy from like $1 million or $1 billion company. But that's kind of how like the show works. And I think before social media was so big, like it was kind of just based on, how the fans reacted when people showed up, and like how the fans cheered after the matches. But now that social media is so big, like stuff can change so much in between the shows themselves,
Yeah.
Like it matters.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to look in because I think like if this dead internet theory is correct, then it probably has a huge effect on WWE. And if my investigation doesn't come up with anything, then I'm going to turn it into an experiment and try to make bots and see if we can influence what happens on the WWE, because I feel like that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I would love to look into that.
Maybe even we could put together like $100 and try to pay off some of these like big Twitter accounts to say stuff. And see, like, we need to like pick something. Let's decide next week, but let's pick something to see if we can influence the WWE through like Twitter bots and Instagram bots and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. That would be really funny.
Yeah. Anyways, we might have gotten like way too deep there, but
well, it's an interesting topic, and it's pretty relevant, especially. I haven't heard much about the dead internet thing, but if that is a thing, I'm sure that the WWE community is involved in that because people on social media are crazy for that show. So
Yeah. But it's interesting, like thinking about this, it really applies to, it doesn't apply that much to sports because, like, if I hate Patrick Mahomes and talk about it online, he's still going to
Yeah.
go, like, beat a bunch of people. It's not going to
exactly.
affect his career. But, like, if I hate, it's more on, like, politics and, like,
Mhm.
and, like, entertainment, like movies and TV and video games and stuff. Like, I see
Yeah.
a lot of the same stuff going on with that. Is the same stuff going on with like the WWE. So it's interesting, like how it relates. Anyway, now we're getting way too deep. I have a video that I wanted to react to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's do that. Sorry about that, guys. I do like the idea of doing the bot experiment and see if it goes anywhere. Sorry, I'm pulling up the video. Here we go.
Color cop, we in the building. Y'all are not. You showing the paper, you gon' ball or not. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I play the shots. I call the calls. We in this. It's going down. Yeah, in the kingdom with my motherfucking crown. I'm a boss. 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 I'm a boss.
That's pretty sweet. I will say, you know, he's big and he's strong. You know, he's got what it takes to be a wrestler. I think if he wanted to get back into wrestling now, he would have a serious fan base. And as we've talked about, you know, the fans definitely influence, you know, how successful to an extent a wrestler is. And he could bring out some moves like the double chocolate choke slam or something like that. You know, like I feel like he could come up with some good stuff based on the content he's already making. So. I saw that they were at AEW, right? Is that where they were?
Yeah, so they were at the AEW pay-per-view All Out. It's kind of like their version of Backlash. And yeah, I mean, we were saying a couple months ago now that WWE should be looking into recruit them, and I guess Triple H wasn't listening, and Tony Khan and AEW were able to, I don't know if they signed them or it was just a one-time thing, but they're definitely on the radar right now for these big companies. They might be trying to pull like Ayuk or something, trying to hold off on signing anywhere, negotiating as long as possible, and that's why we only got to see like a little bit of them. But I don't know if Big Justice is ready for a match yet. Maybe against like Hornswoggle or something. But actually, maybe we could get Big Justice versus 25 Cent.
Yeah, that would be a good match. That would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, the obvious one would be Big Justice versus Baby Gronk. But,
yeah,
I mean, I think Big AJ's ready for at least NXT. I could see him going up against this Obafemi guy that we were just talking about.
Yeah, well, that might be what Obafemi needs, because it seems like, you know, some of the people that are like deep into WWE social media stuff love Obafemi, but yeah, for most of us who don't watch NXT, I had no idea who he was talking about. But you know, if he fought Big AJ, I would definitely watch that match for sure. Like that would be part of the first on my social media tweet when I opened up the app. So, you know, if you're trying to make a wrestler more popular, like Big AJ might be the guy.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I know that he is doing a show, I think coming up later this year, but it hasn't really been confirmed yet. But I know he is interested in at least hosting his own show. And I know that like Mark Henry is involved as well. So, you know, he's already associated with big names like Mark Henry. And, you know, I think the Rizzler didn't show up at AEW, but the commentators were talking about him as well. So you could also see the Rizzler get involved. And I could see, I could see a lot because, you know, Big Justice and Big AJ, the Costco guys, they have a lot of like relatives too. So they could kind of maybe even start their own version of the bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. every single one of their videos, it seems like they have a new family member or new person that's, joining the Costco guys. And that's kind of how it was with the bloodline for a little bit when, Jacob Fatu and Tamatonga and Tongaloa were all showing up. It's kind of like, where does this bloodline end? So, where does the Costco guys bloodline end? And, that could be like the new bloodline. The Costco guys bloodline.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, I guess I could get into my new episode of High Flying Flavors.
Yeah.
Yep. You ready for that? All right, let's go. What's up, guys? This is DJ Big Unknown. Welcome back to a brand new episode of High Flying Flavors. Let's get back. So this is where we're at right now in the series. Top is the best ranking. Bottom is the worst. And okay, this is something I was waiting to see if I want to address this, but we've talked about Brutus Creed on the show before, how he kind of does his own like review that's a ripoff of the Costco guys doing the or what is he? We talked about it with Hoopify, but
yeah,
he's gotten into some heat for comparing a Big Cheez-It to his female coworker's body parts, and I don't know. I reviewed this creepy Fanta a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden now Brutus Creed is doing a review of it on his channel. And
did he? Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a guy who I want to start a fight with, obviously, so this isn't like a challenge, but I've wanted to bring it up because it's pretty annoying how you stole the Costco guys' thing. Now you're stealing my thing of reviewing this Fanta. So if you're watching this, can you please stop stealing other people's ideas and getting your own ideas? I mean, the Brutus Ball is actually an original move that I really like, but other than that, like, I don't know. I'm a fan of you, but you're kind of pissing me off. But anyways, never mind. So let's get into how do I stop sharing? So this week I'm reviewing the Doritos flavored popcorn. So I've had Cheeto flavored popcorn before, but never Doritos. So
Doritos flavored popcorn. What kind of Dorito? Red Dorito?
Nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese, yeah.
And this is the brand Smart Food. I've had their like Parmesan popcorn before, so this will be interesting. It's interesting because it tastes like the Dorito, but the main thing about like eating a Dorito is you get that crunch,
Yeah.
Like, so just imagine eating a Dorito that's not crunchy. It doesn't really.
Yeah, the crunch kind of makes it a Dorito,
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't like it. Like, I mean, I like it. It tastes good, but I think I'm gonna have to rank it bottom of the list.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
You wouldn't snack on those while you're watching Monday Night Raw?
I mean, I would. Like, it doesn't taste bad. It's just like it tastes like I'm just eating like straight cheese, because it's like usually anything that you eat that's like cheesy has like a crunch,
Yeah.
And like this popcorn, it kind of just like melts in your mouth. So it kind of just feels like I'm eating just like straight like cheese slices. I guess it's like a little crunchy, but it's kind of more like a mushy. Because like once your saliva like hits the popcorn, it kind of like mushes. So it becomes mushy and it just kind of feels like I'm eating just like cheese or like Cheese Whiz, or it's not good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. So that's my rating. It's going to be at the bottom at number 5. So
Dang.
Just below the Haunted Apple Fanta.
Yeah,
So,
well, not every food can be, top of the list. They took a risk mixing Doritos and popcorn, and it didn't necessarily work out, but that's all right. That's why Doritos are chips and not popcorn.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see that for some reason we have a ton of viewers coming in out of nowhere.
I texted Bo, and I think Bo and some of the others started watching on our Twitter. I don't know if they're all watching, but I just saw that Bo liked our live stream.
Well, if you guys have any questions you want us to cover, I mean, we've already covered a lot, so we're probably going to wrap it up soon. But I'd hate to end the show when we finally actually have an audience. So I don't. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No. I mean, shout out Mobley for joining. It's pretty cool. I know that some rappers sometimes have like little references to WWE fighters and stuff, which is cool. But it's pretty sweet that he's got like full songs just talking about like different wrestlers, and they were actually like some of his lines were pretty sick. So that's really cool. Shout out him for joining, and we got to catch one of his live.
I know it sucks that he had connection issues, but I mean, it would be. I wanted to ask him more about like what it's like to be a rapper, and like I don't know, just like because I'm kind of like I kind of want to be a rapper too, so it would have been cool to like ask him if he has any advice. But it looks like we have a question from a viewer. Who are your current and all-time favorite wrestlers? I'll let you go first, DRW15.
Current might have to be Braun Breaker. I mean, if you're talking about just like a guy who I get excited for every time, I get to bark every time I see him. That's pretty sick, and I feel like he's just at the start of a pretty electric career. So I know there's like Randy Orton's obviously one of my all-time favorites, but he's kind of not the legend killer anymore. If you brought back the boot, he would automatically become my favorite fighter again. But the legend killer's gotten a little bit soft since coming back. So probably Braun Breaker for now, and then all time got to be the Undertaker. When he showed up at WrestleMania, that was might have been the greatest moment of my life, and I wasn't even there. So I'm jealous of you, but that guy is one of the scariest human beings ever. So it's pretty cool that I don't even know if he's a human being technically, but whatever he is, scary.
Yeah. I'm going to go. My favorite current is Roman Reigns. He's my favorite. And if I had to pick a second favorite, it would probably be Jey Uso. Even though they're kind of rivals, but Jey Uso, he doesn't win a lot of matches, but he just gets you fired up whenever he shows up, which is something that WWE really needs right now, because there's not really a lot of guys that you like get that excited for. So and then all time, I'm gonna also go with Undertaker, and I'm gonna also say Hornswoggle.
Yeah, two pretty similar wrestlers, I think. A little bit different, but two goats in their own way.
And if I had to pick a third all-time favorite, I would say mini Hornswoggle or mini Undertaker, because it's kind of like a combination of the two. Yeah. I think he just made a one-time appearance, but He also got destroyed by Undertaker, but so did everyone else in WWE. So, yeah.
One more all-time favorite and current favorite is 25 Cent. One of the best to ever do it, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. So, shout out 25 Cent, one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe the thing that we choose the bots to try to influence is to get 25 Cent in Royal Rumble, but I would hate for us to do that and then WWE like figures out it's bots and like doesn't want to contact them at all. So maybe we gotta, I don't know.
I don't want to ruin our guys' chances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll ask for permission, see what he thinks. Because if he approves it, let's just do it. But okay. Does anyone know who DJ Big Unknown is? Well, I don't know how to answer this. If anyone knows, then that would wait. To know, well, my answer is to know the unknown, you have to unknow the known.
That's a good answer. Seems like you're really liking that popcorn for having it be at the bottom of your list.
It's not good. I don't want to finish it, but I don't know. Another thing that happened in like the world of combat sports is a couple weeks ago the Niners played the Raiders, and there were a lot of brawls, not in the game but by the fans at the stadium and around the stadium. So I kind of hope to see more of that. No, I can't be encouraging any fights like that, but I don't know. It kind of reminded me of when we went to the Baby concert. There were kind of a lot of brawls in the parking lot after that.
That was kind of like bloodline rules in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. But I know like Triple H has been recruiting like track and field athletes and stuff to WWE. If he wants to recruit some real fighters, he should go to Niners versus Raiders parking lots, or
just go to a Raiders game.
The parking. Yeah, go to a DaBaby concert.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's looking for fighters in track and field events when there's Raiders fans out there. Seems like he's a little bit misled, but he'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we're not getting any other questions from the viewers. But I don't know. We don't have any guests planned for next week, but I don't know. I kind of want to. I don't know. What kind of guests do you think we should try to get?
I
want to interview a WWE wrestler.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We haven't actually interviewed anyone yet, but I don't know. They're all like impossible to reach because WWE fans are insane.
Yeah. R-Truth has been out for a little while. We could reach out to him. He's probably still recovering, so this might be a good time to get him.
I saw R-Truth dropped a new song recently. So definitely gonna have to listen to that. I don't know. It's getting late for me. I'm good with ending the show.
Yeah, that's fine with me too. Yeah.
All right.
So shout out Mobley for joining. One of the best, probably the best WWE rapper in the game right now. He's maybe not here to shout out in his show and his music, but I forget where he said he was playing. But
for those who missed the beginning of the show, we'll play his song again after the outro. So you can take a listen. Make sure to go to his concert coming up this weekend. I know I would probably be there.
Yeah, that's Mobley with a 3. If you're confused, I can spell it. It's a 3.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, make sure to like, subscribe, and tombstone the comment button, or what do I usually say? Make sure to chokeslam the 5-star review button on podcasting apps, and follow us on X and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Yep. And check out our bots that we're going to be making on X. See if you guys can find them.
Anyone you want to shout out? DRW15.
Shout out Jordan Mason. He stepped up big last night for the 49ers. Next man up. Sometimes that happens in any sport, and next guy got to be ready. And that's what happened with the guy we were talking about earlier, the Italian dude with all the money. I forget his name.
Giovanni Vinci.
Giovanni Vinci was the next man up, and he was not ready. So, be like Jordan Mason and not like Giovanni Vinci.
I'm going to shout out the Hat Man because he was really in Aaron Rodgers' head last night and didn't really perform very well. So shout out Hat Man. Keep it up. All right. Well, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on this bone-chilling journey through the world of WWE. Join us next time on your favorite podcast app or live Tuesday nights on YouTube, Instagram, and X. As the final bell tolls, remember to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales from the crypt. Chokeslam that button and subscribe. Check out srotu.org, NTRW15 on YouTube, or else. Until next time, may the power of the dead man be with you. Rest in peace.
Alright. It's Mobley. Alright. Yeah. She don't like when I go deep, she be like, damn, he poking me. Yeah, I used to be a dog, but now I got the goat in me. I'm in the club, I feel like Shad, my homie JTG. You in the section, you ain't shaking ass the fuck away from me. She wanna smoke and suck me up and watch some WWE. I feel like Bobby Lashley, pull up with your bitch, she come with me. I'm like the Sandman when I pull up, got that drink, I'm smoking weed. Bitch, I'm like Roman Reigns, when I walk in, they know that goat in me. I'm getting fly today, yeah, I'm getting hot today. Mix the Henny with the fear of God, I'm about to fly away. Yeah, I'm about to fly away. Yeah, I'm about to fly away. Baby, you look fly today. I'm getting fly today, yeah, I'm getting hot today. Mix the Henny with the fear of God, I'm about to fly away. We go to SummerSlam and then we getting lit at Barley House. We about to beat your homie ass so bad he gon' get carted out. I'm so high, I'm in the sky, I feel like I'm Jeff Hardy now. My homie used to fuck with Rhea, but he won't Liv Morgan now. Take some head and pour it out, we got the divas pouring out. Bitch, I'll be chopping shit like Gunther, you can't call me boring now. I feel like Xavier Woods, I fuck a bitch recording now. Got a baddie, she down for the count, I think she's snoring now. She wasn't trying to fuck with you, I got her very horny now. I'm in your city putting on a show, you can't ignore me now. I've been chilling in the back, I got my mask like Dragon League. I got this one bitch in my phone, she be like, when you cracking me. I feel like I'm Dom Mysterio, these hoes be after me. I'm John Cena with this rap, cause you can't see her rap with me.